no one had a greater impact on this university.
Nobody who ever walked the streets of South Bend could forget Father Ted.
I rejoice for him that he's with God.
Tonight, tears fill the eyes of many across Michiana as thousands remember Notre Dame legend Father Theodore Hesburgh, a former university president that paved the way for equal rights.
Father Hesburgh was a moral force in virtually all major social issues of his day.
Helping change history.
He was one of the nation's most influential figures in higher education, the Catholic Church, and national and international affairs.
In the most humble way.
Whatever else we may say about Father Ted, he was a priest.
From students and faculty.
That's just another reason why I'm proud to go to this school.
To our nation's most prominent leaders.
Our country and the world is a better place because of Father Ted.
ABC 57's special coverage remembering Father Hesburgh starts right now.
Live from Michiana, this is ABC 57 News at 6.
Notre Dame lost a piece of its heart last night. But Father Ted lives on at Notre Dame and among the millions of lives he touched around the world.
Last night brought a profound loss to our community. A loss felt across Michiana, a loss felt around the world. The death of Father Theodore Hesburgh brings with it a revolving door of fond memories. We start with ABC 57's Alexandra Cohen, who stood with current Notre Dame President Father John Jenkins as he reflected on the man who paved the way for so many. Alexandra, good evening.
Good evening, Brian. Today, Father Jenkins said that Notre Dame lost a piece of its heart last night. At 97 years old, Father Ted was still a vital and active part of this community, and he had a special connection with students here.
Next to the university's founder, Father Edward Soren, no one had a greater impact on this university.
Today, campus had a somber feel as students stopped by the grotto to offer up a prayer and remember the longest-serving president at Notre Dame. In the press conference on Friday, Father Jenkins said Father Ted outlived most of his contemporaries, but they still expect a large and notable crowd for the funeral on Tuesday.
Father Ted was the only person I know who come to breakfast in the morning and say, the president called me last night.
Father Jenkins was emotional today as he shared his last jovial memories of Father Theodore Hesburgh.
He celebrated Mass daily. He had a cigar daily. So he was very engaged. The past week, he seemed to slow down a bit. He wasn't going to the office. We knew when he wasn't going to the office. That was a sign.
Father Hesburgh died at 11:30 last night, but Father Jenkins said he was having a little bit of trouble breathing. However, he was still in good spirits. Reporting live from Notre Dame, Alexandra Cohen, ABC 57 News.
Tonight, I take a look back at the life and the work of the man who many simply called Father Ted, a father to so many who made a name for himself at a very young age. On May 25th, 1917, in Syracuse, New York, a man who would help change the world was born. Some would say it was God's plan for Father Ted Hesburgh to become a part of the University of Notre Dame.
I never could have dreamed that first day of class what lay ahead, but that's just as good.
At just 17 years old, he stepped foot on campus for the first time.
That they may become for us the body and blood of your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ.
9 years later, on that same campus, he was ordained a Holy Cross priest. His true journey under the Golden Dome started in 1945 when he served as a chaplain to World War II veterans. In 1949, Hesburgh was appointed executive vice president of the university.
That was a big jump. I'd never been in administration before, and suddenly I'm number 2 guy in the university.
With that came responsibilities to oversee the athletic department. Hesburgh was responsible for deciding if the football team needed to fly instead of taking a train to cut down on players' time away from campus.
Our first trip, I got to fly the airplane on the way back, which was a dumb thing to do, but I'm a kind of an aviation nut, and I've always enjoyed flying, so I took the wheel for a few minutes. Then I thought, this is crazy. If we ever had a problem, think of the headline. Notre Dame team wiped out with Hesburgh at the helm.
He must have done just fine. In 1952, at 35 years old, Hesburgh was named the 15th president of the university. 2 years later, he received his first of 16 presidential appointments under 9 different presidents. One of Hesburgh's biggest fights and victories as Notre Dame president was for civil rights. Hesburgh served on the Civil Rights Commission for 15 years. One image is unforgettable. Father Hesburgh and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. hand in hand at Soldier Field. Hesburgh called for greater diversity. 4 years later, the number of minority employees increased from 45 to 345. He also helped 365 women enroll for the very first time in the fall of 1972.
Of all the things that I might have done that were worthwhile, the putting of Notre Dame under lay control and the opening of Notre Dame to women are the two most important, I think, and the two most fruitful things that I ever did during those years.
After 35 years as the head of the university, President Father Theodore Hesburgh stepped down. He steered not just the university, but the world through some very tough years. He arrived on campus a teenager, but he can always be found overlooking the campus of Notre Dame. Father Theodore Hesburgh, gone at the age of 97. And today, students and faculty at Notre Dame, they have spent the entire day mourning the loss of Father Ted. ABC 57's Kaylee Bourgeois live for us on campus tonight, where she spent the day exploring his impact there firsthand.
Brian, it was definitely a bit of a somber mood on campus today, but my first impression was, wow, what a sense of community there is here. And as I spoke with folks here today, I learned that it's the community that Father Hesburgh built.
That he was able to bring women into the university, so we're all very grateful for him.
Chances are, if you study or work in one of these buildings, you have a Father Hesburgh story.
Remember actually the day I graduated, walking across campus and ran into him, and he was asking, how is it? And I was like, oh, I'm ready to go.
Students and staff describe him as always smiling, as they did while discussing the memory of him.
Just another reason why I'm proud to go to this school.
Everyone is paying their respects the Catholic way, with prayer.
Because of the vision that he had, that this was more than just another Catholic college, but it was the Catholic Research University, and he built that.
A priest first, Hesburgh often worshipped in private, but yesterday afternoon he is believed to have attended his last Mass at the Basilica. Now the community he leaves behind is praying for him. And Brian, I spoke with some staff members here on campus today. Many of them understandably did not want to appear on camera in their sad moods, but I spoke with a custodian, to a professor, to even a priest, and they were speechless when asked about Hesburgh. They couldn't put into words how they felt about him, but they all agreed he is a great guy. Reporting live in Notre Dame, Kaylee Bourgeois, ABC 57 News.
Notre Dame's campus, also the host for a world-renowned speaker series, and Father Hesburgh, the inspiration for that event. ABC57.com's Torian Small has more on his impact. Torian, good evening.
Many people on Notre Dame's campus today told me Father Hesburgh will be remembered for his activism and initiative. That's why it was no surprise he was honored at Notre Dame's TED Talks event, highlighting tomorrow's leaders in innovation and advocacy. The seminar, TEDxUND, featured several keynote speakers sharing their take on the event's theme, What If? The university's Vice President, Reverend Hugh Page Jr., led a moment of silence for the man he believes asked what if and changed the world. Alumna and speaker Susan Jackson spent the last minute of her speech sharing a story about Hesburgh's political impact.
I'd like to leave you with my favorite Father Ted story. When he called in the results of his famously successful meeting of the Civil Rights Commission up at Land O'Lakes, and President Eisenhower said, "How in the world did you get so much consensus?" He said, "Mr. President, you did not send me a collection of Republicans and Democrats and Northerners and Southerners. You sent me a bunch of fishermen." Thank you.
Right now on ABC57.com, you can read an interview with another speaker from today and learn more about the event. In the studio, Torian Small, ABC 57 News.
All right, Torian, thank you. The President of the United States even sharing his condolences on Father Hesburgh's passing, saying in a written release, "Michelle and I were saddened to learn of the passing of Father Ted Hesburgh. During his lifetime of service to his country, his church, and his beloved University of Notre Dame, Father Hesburgh inspired generations of young men and women to lead with the courage of their convictions. Reaction now from Governor Mike Pence. His legacy will endure always and without doubt will continue to inspire individuals across the world to pursue a life of peace and justice. The First Lady and I extend our deepest condolences to his family, the University of Notre Dame community, and all who knew and loved this exceptional Hoosier leader. As memorials continue to pop up around campus, some are choosing to remember Father Hesburgh by attending various sporting events held tonight at Notre Dame. ABC 57's Marissa Keniston live for us on campus. And Marissa, what is going on there on campus tonight?
Well, Brian, a big night here on campus. Men's hockey are playing against Boston College tonight at the Compton Family Ice Arena. But right here behind me at the Purcell Pavilion is the Bengal Bouts, the final night of that boxing tournament here on campus. Now take a look of this video from inside the pavilion. You can see the ring is already set to go, but it's sure to be an emotional night here in the ring as so many of these students have been impacted by Father Hesburgh, a man who just meant so much to this university. He always put more emphasis on making Notre Dame more than just a so-called football school, and tonight's event on campus will show just how far the university has come. Now coming up tonight on ABC 57 News at 10 and 11, hear more from students and fans on their reaction. Reporting live at Notre Dame, Marissa Keniston, ABC 57 News.
A very cold day on campus for those gathering at the Grotto to remember Father Ted. Sending it over now to ABC 57 meteorologist Jackie Layer for an update on the weather tonight. Jackie.
Good evening, Brian. That is right. We're going to continue to track those colder temperatures as we head out through the rest of the evening, so definitely need to bundle up. Temperatures dropping back into the single digits as early as 8 p.m. Also, wind chills will go below 0 as early as 8 p.m. as well. We're tracking mostly clear skies for tonight, but we're tracking some snow as we head into your Sunday. I have the latest coming up right after the break.
We can talk about a sunset, and there is one.
Yeah, there is one tonight, and I know that we're talking about Sunday with that snow, and everyone's like, no, we don't want any more snow, especially start out with March. So starting out with a countdown during this forecast. Again, just 9 more days until daylight saving time, and then that spring equinox is right around the corner. We still have at least 21 more days until it is officially spring on that calendar. But here's a look at what we're tracking. Bitter cold yet again tonight, overnight lows dipping below 0 again. And like I mentioned, don't put that shovel away just yet. We're tracking a snowy start to March, and then even some rain and snow mix as we end to Tuesday as temperatures up just a little bit over that freezing mark. Here's a quick look at your ABC 57 First Warning live Doppler radar. All clear for now. That will change as we head into early Sunday morning. But for tonight, we're remaining calm with forecast track mostly clear skies. That will allow those temperatures to drop below 0 yet again with those mostly clear skies. Again, still clear as we head into your Saturday morning, so it will be a frigid start. But then as we head into the afternoon with those mostly sunny skies, the sunshine will allow those temperatures to warm up just a little bit more than what we saw for today. But another wider look at forecast track, keeping an eye on that system. That will be making its way into Michiana for Sunday morning. As I set this into motion, you really see a lot of moisture building in as it makes its way closer and closer to Michiana. Here's a look at 9 in the morning on Sunday morning. It's still right on the outskirts of Michiana. It really will intensify as we head into the afternoon hours. Heavier snowfall indicated in that darker blue. But notice the rain snow line is just to the south of Michiana. So if you are heading towards Indy on Sunday, you will hit that rain snow mix and then hit the rain in downtown Indy. Even seeing a little bit more in the way of that darker blue in our southern half of Michiana as early as 3 p.m. And that's where we're going to be seeing the most snow with that system is going to be just south of US 6. So here's a look, giving a close watch for that Sunday snowfall. 3 to 6 inches of snow is expected all throughout Sunday in areas south of US 6. 2 to 4 inches is expected just north of US 6, close to the state line. We also want to mention Tuesday's rain and snow mix. So again, just have your plans ready for that. Overnight tonight, back below 0. As we into tomorrow, very cold start, warming up to 20 degrees, mostly clear skies. A quick look at your ABC 57 First Warning 7-day forecast, warming up a little bit on Sunday with that system, upper 20s. And then look at this, Tuesday, upper 30s with that rain-snow mix. Then after that system moves through, temperatures drop back into the lower 20s as we head into Wednesday and Thursday.
All right, Jackie, thank you very much. And of course, when ABC 57 News is between newscasts, you can stay up to date with us online. Visit our website, abc57.com. There you'll find the latest news. You can also hear reaction from across Michiana on the passing of Father Hesburgh. And he not only made an impact locally, he also left a lasting mark as a champion for civil rights and equality for all. ABC 57's Emily Kinzer joins us live at the MLK Center in South Bend. Emily, Father Hesburgh was very supportive in the starting of that foundation.
Yes, he was, Brian. I've talked to people today who knew him and say he was an angel among us, someone who lived out his calling, and a man who is a believer in justice for all.
He told me lots of stories with him and Martin Luther King and how the Civil Rights Bill got passed.
It was in the streets of Chicago that Father Hesburgh marched with Martin Luther King Jr. He was part of a dream much bigger than himself. Equality for all people was what he wanted.
He talked about Martin Luther King being his friend.
It was this friendship and the travels he and Dr. King had together that helped pave the way for the change.
He helped to open some doors for Dr. King. He just dedicated his whole life to that mission and purpose of civil rights for all mankind.
Gladys Muhammad, founder of the MLK Foundation in South Bend, met Father Hesburgh back in the 60s at Notre Dame when tent cities were set up all across college campuses. She said she loved talking to him. As always, he had engaging stories to tell.
I know him from, personally being in his office and him talking for 2 or 3 hours about his travels around the world. He was inspiring, just inspiring to me.
She's not the only one inspired by his legacy. He left big shoes to fill as the first chairperson on the U.S. Commission of Civil Rights. Marty Castro is now in that position, and he talked to me today from D.C.
The commission to this day still feels the impact of his leadership. He set the mold for how our commission should function.
Hesburgh's photo is displayed in the U.S. Commission of Civil Rights building and serves as a daily reminder to work just as he did.
Lived what he lived, to walk in his shoes, to stand up for the issues that he believed with in the same passion.
Although he may be gone, people say that he has left his mark across the community, across the state, and across the nation. And some people say that the world is a better place because of the work he did. Reporting live in South Bend tonight, Emily Kinzer, ABC 57 News.
Throughout his life, Father Ted stepped off campus and out of the church to shake hands and share policies with United States politicians. Former President Jimmy Carter shared some words today to honor his late friend. Former President Carter says in a written release today, Father Hesburgh has devoted his long and consequential life to serving humanity, always taking courageous stands on the serious moral issues that have faced our nation and the world, from his fight for civil and human rights and against nuclear proliferation and global hunger, to his ongoing efforts to seek peace among people in conflict. Stay with us, friends. We'll be right back with much more on the life, death, and legacy of Father Hesburgh. During his time as president of Notre Dame, Hesburgh was instrumental in the school's decision to begin accepting female students. This afternoon, ABC 57's Rachel Brown sat down with one woman who was a student in Notre Dame's class of 72, the first class to welcome women. Rachel.
Yeah, good evening, Brian. This woman I spoke with said losing Father Hesburgh was just as like losing a father. She said he made her life better. Denise Brenner was one of 125 female students who enrolled in Notre Dame in the fall of 1972. Before that year, the school was only open to male students. Attending Notre Dame was a dream she never thought would come true until Father Hesburgh helped make the school co-ed. Brenner met her husband while attending Notre Dame and even got married right here on campus. She credits Father Hesburgh for this. And today she shared one of her fondest memories of the priest when he spoke at her 25th class reunion.
He had every woman that was there come up, receive their certificates, get a handshake, and then get a kiss from Father Hesburgh. He said, if I'm going to kiss one woman, I'm going to kiss you all. So for sure, all of us got kisses from Father Hesburgh.
And I spoke with others who were just as grateful to Father Hesburgh. They said Had it not been for them attending Notre Dame, they don't believe their lives would have been as rich today. Reporting live at Notre Dame, Rachel Brown, ABC 57 News.
South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg stopped by our studio this morning to talk about how Father Ted affected change around the world. Take a listen.
Well, saddened, of course, but also just grateful for the impact that Father Ted has had on the university, on this community. You know, here is somebody who was a leader of national, even global significance, living right here in the South Bend area. And I think he will always be remembered for his vision.
Father Hesburgh gone at age 97. Stay with us. We'll be right back. You may not know this, but Donnelly is a Notre Dame graduate. He says Father Ted treated everyone the same. Donnelly made additional comments today where he remembers someone who he calls his second dad.
Here was someone who had dinner with presidents and then would come home to Notre Dame, and at 2 a.m. at night you'd see his light on in his little dorm room, and students would come up to talk to him about challenges they had, whether it was a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or how am I going to pay for the next semester, or you know, a family problem of some type. And Father Ted would sit all night and talk to them and minister them.
A great memory from the senator. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Jackie, one more look at the weather.
Yep, one more look at your ABC 57 first warning 10-day forecast. 20 degrees for our Saturday after it's going to be a very frigid start to your Saturday morning with temperatures dropping to -4 degrees tonight. And again, we are tracking that snow as we head into your Sunday. At least 3 to even 5 inches of snow is expected for much of the area. So stick with ABC 57 News for the latest on that.
All right, that is our time after 90 minutes of news. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Brian Dorman.
And I'm Jackie Layer.
We leave you tonight with moments captured throughout Father Hesburgh's life. Have a great evening, everyone. We'll see you tonight at